On Dalal Street yesterday, global growth jitters dragged our markets lower. Benchmark indices ended the day in the red. Suffice to say that the global flu was caught by India as well. Broader markets mildly outperformed. The mid-cap index ended off lows and the Nifty bank slipped by over 1%. But what are the cues stacked up today? Anisha joins us to give us all of that. Good morning, Anisha.
Good morning, Mangalam. Well, yes, as you mentioned, it was the global growth concerns that actually impacted the global markets yesterday. In fact, the Indian markets also down about almost 1% because the Nifty and the Sensex ended around 0.8% lower, and it was the one-week low that we saw for the Indian markets in third consecutive session of a decline after the outperformance that we have seen in the last 2 weeks. But yesterday you can take heart from the fact that the FII buying really continued. So in the cash equity markets, the FIIs bought around 150 crore rupees worth of equity, while the DIs, they sold around 12 crore. Remember, FIIs have been bringing in a lot of money this month for the month of March, and we have seen an inflow of almost 25,000 crores when it comes to the cash equity markets. As far as the US market is concerned, yesterday, well, the cues from there are a tad bit mixed. While the Dow ended in the green, the S&P 500 as well as the Nasdaq ended mildly lower. Remember, there was this global growth concerns because the inversion of the yield curve that continued yesterday as well. In fact, the US 10-year yield briefly touched the lowest level since 2017. So that is something that has been plaguing US markets as well as the other global equities. Even the data coming in from Europe was not that strong, and that is the reason that market was also seeing a bit of pressure. In fact, the news to track where in Europe is that as far as the Brexit process is concerned, the UK Parliament has now taken over the process of the Brexit process. They have taken over the control, and that is something really to keep an eye out on. Other than that, Asia has rebounded in trade. Nikkei was up around 1%. SGX 50 should also come up for you on the screen as to what it is suggesting in terms of initial start for the Indian markets. Crude is steady as well as the dollar index is steady. The key level to watch for the Indian market is 11,300 to 350. Let's see where we go.
All right, Anisha, thanks a lot for that. But what are the stocks that you're watching out for today? Jet Airways must be topping your list today.
Oh, well, yes, you guys have been discussing, and we also heard what the SBI management had to say on the matter. So the resolution plan that the lenders had made has been provided by the board. We heard about all the restructuring that happened. Brokerages like Citi believe that the resolution plan provides a temporary relief, and this might help Jet to regain the lost market share. And that should be a bit positive for Jet, whereas we might see a bit of negative tick when it comes to Indigo as well as SpiceJet, because they stand to lose the additional market share. Moving on to Mindtree and L&T, that deal continues to be in focus. Remember, there's a board meet today when it comes to Mindtree to decide the next step of actions. So that is something to keep an eye out on. Reliance has made a small acquisition of around 150 crores from John Player's brand from ITC. So keep an eye out on those two stocks. Raymond will be in focus because they are setting up a new realty division, and they're looking to monetize Thane land as well. This is something that has been impacting the stock price, so that monetization of Thane land can unlock value for the shareholders. So we might see a green tick on that. DLF, that QIP has finally opened. The floor price has been decided at 193 versus the current market price of 189. So see a bit of reaction in that and trade today. ICICI Pru is also in focus because there is an OFS of around 2.6% with an additional option of 1.1%, and the floor price of that is around 300 rupees. So keep an eye out on ICICI Pru and trade today. And lastly, Kalpatro, that one has made an acquisition in Sweden, and it's an EPC business that they've acquired for around $24 million. Back to you.
All right, Anisha, thanks a lot for that. With that, we take a short break and discuss the key stock that we're going to talk about on the other side. As lenders take over Jet Airways, what's next for the ailing airline? We tell you more on the other side.